power creep. The subject I have tried very hard not to talk about. But here we are. Recently, I'm sure you all are aware of the latest situation that has caused way more unrest than I initially thought it would. And that would be the castorice issue. Now, first and foremost, I want to express just how ridiculous this entire situation is. The community is tearing itself apart over the leaks translated into English by a third-party source from a beta server that is subject to change. Meaning that people are foaming at the mouth over something that doesn't even yet exist. And this is exactly why I don't do drama on my channel. I refer to leaks as the path of making mountains out of molehills, aka the enigmata. But admittedly, this is more so on the serious side, and I ended up running a poll and you guys wanted my opinion. So it's time for me to give you my brutally honest opinion on this entire situation. And what does castorice do exactly? Well, she does this. And it hits hard. And we gotta talk about it. So with that said, this is Honkai Star Rail's power creep problem revealed. Okay, so you guys asked for the crash out, so you're getting the crash out. I have said in the past that Honkai Star Rail is a game with zero skill expression, and that I don't play Honkai Star Rail, and neither do you. We watch Honkai Star Rail. I have come to accept this, and it is for this reason that I have always been free to play, because Honkai Star Rail has the single worst combat system out of every Hoyoverse game. I have played Honkai Impact 3rd, I have played Genshin Impact, I have played Zenless Zone Zero, and you know what's funny? You can clear Spiral Abyss 36 stars with 4 stars from patch 1 to this day. In Zenless Zone Zero, you can use the starting team, the Cunning Hares, Billy, Anby, Nicole, to clear Deadly Assault, the endgame of endgame stuff. And for Honkai Impact 3rd, they hand you S ranks on a silver platter half the time, just to make sure that you're keeping up with everyone else. Because the whole Abyss situation over there is kind of competitive. Yes, Honkai Impact 3rd Abyss is competitive. How you fare compared to everyone else determines the amount of crystals you get. And this is a stark difference from Honkai Star Rail, where the game is not even 2 years old yet, and half the roster is entirely useless. And that is for 2 reasons. 1, because of the utter lack of any and all skill expression, and 2, because of Hoyo's failure to balance their own roster.
But no, you just praised Hoyo in Chinese last video. How do you switch up like that?
I was talking about story. We're talking about gameplay today. 你不认识我，你不明白我的意思. I had an issue with the storytelling that they ended up fixing. This is an entirely different issue. The gameplay in Honkai Star Rail has been ruined for a long time, but I'll get into that later. Because the absence of skill expression in this game has led to the situation we face today. You see, it doesn't take skill to hit auto battle. It doesn't take skill to know what team to put characters on, because half the roster only works on one team, or you just simply don't want to clear. The only flexible units are the harmony buffers and the defense types like the abundance and the 4 preservation characters in the game. 2 years. And we have 4 preservation characters. Only 2 of them are 5 stars. And we just added Remembrance. Another DPS path that does absolutely nothing unique. A Memo Sprite is just AoE damage Numby. We have 4 stars in this game that have been useless since day 1. They release and no one uses them. But that's besides the point. There is no variety in team comps, which means you either have the right team or you don't. And if you don't, you lose. End of story. In other Hoyo games like Genshin and Zenless Zone Zero, the signature weapons have a special effect. And they actually exist, as in you can equip them. They have a model, and when you put them on the right characters, they glow. Or in Zenless Zone Zero, they make the character's hair glow as you play the game. Whereas in Honkai Star Rail, the only way you know you have the light cone or not is the damage numbers. See the issue here? The only value the light cones have is allowing you to clear content. There is no aesthetic value, no special effects, just numbers. So of course the numbers have to increase in order to sell more light cones. See what I'm getting at here? Power creep is baked into the framework of the game. So when you can't clear with anything other than the banner character on the perfect team, it makes every other character useless. Or in this case, an entire playstyle. Rip Dot players, Kafka and Black Swan mains just got baited, I guess. I've seen an E6 Kafka hit for less than my E0 S1 Herta, and that is a travesty. But do you know why this is? You see, I'm a day one player, and when Silverwolf released, I realized that Hoyo just might have ruined the entire balance of their game. And that is because of a mechanic called weakness implant. You see, this mechanic spelled the death for all single target bosses, because Silverwolf could just implant the weakness and the boss gets broken and you win. Y'all remember the Quantum meta? Where it was CeeLo or Qingque, Silverwolf, Sparkle, Fushuan absolutely dominating the game? Yeah, this terrified Hoyo, and this is where they made a choice, that they couldn't deal with this monster. So they decided to stop making single target fights altogether. Svarog didn't used to spawn with a giant robot beside him. He was a solo raid boss. They removed a whole boss style. Even Hule spawns in Borison. It's not a solo boss. And as of today, there are no more bosses that are single target. And that killed off Silverwolf, along with the hunt path, for a long time, until follow-up meta showed up, because they had to go and fix that too. But for some reason, they didn't learn their lesson, because then they made Acheron, then Firefly, then Fei Xiao. And you know the combat in this game is terrible when they release a character that lets you skip the combat. But Firefly is the worst because of a little mechanic called Super Break. And now this team exists, where basically the entire team ignores whatever weakness is in front of them. This team throws the entire balance of the game out of the window. This team's existence is a failure in the design of the game, because there is nothing this team can't beat. Whatever Firefly doesn't mop up, Fugue blows up with her ultimate. That outright ignores weaknesses. The entire purpose of weaknesses is to force people to make multiple teams to account for each one. But when the team can just ignore the one barrier put in place, how are you supposed to make other characters enticing when, again, this team destroys everything? So you know what happens? The numbers gotta increase. There is no skill expression. You can't mess up Firefly Super Break on auto battle. You click your techniques, then let Firefly engage, and you AFK. Eat some lunch, and then you come back to a Stellar Jade payout. And as someone who at this moment has everything cleared perfectly as a free-to-play, I know this to be true. You do not pull for what you want in Honkai Star Rail if you want to clear. It has been like this for a very, very, very long time. And unfortunately, I can't see this going away, because this is their only selling point that they have committed to. And it sucks. So here is where I have to be brutally honest with you guys. I think this whole castorice issue is selective outrage. Because if you really wanted to be mad about this, Firefly and her relic set shouldn't have released. Fugue shouldn't have released, because castorice is only going to be useful against quantum weak enemies. Let's be honest here.
But no, the revive mechanic, she doesn't even need to be on the team.
Okay, but what if I told you that an even more broken mechanic was already in the game that no one is complaining about? You remember Herta, right? Her technique reveals a bunch of chests around the map, but what happens if you use it and then swap her out? Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? The chests stay marked. Yes, as long as Herta is on your account, you can just get every chest on the map no matter what planet you're on. And that absolutely ratios Topaz's passive. And you know what's funny? This is even more broken than a revive mechanic, because this ability actively puts Stellar Jades into your account. Whereas a revive, let's be honest here guys, the boss is just going to one-shot you again. If you're weak enough for one to fall, everybody's going down, and the boss will just one-shot you again. Looking at you, Nikador and Hule. Speaking of broken power creep techniques, don't even get me started on Fei Xiao. This girl is an auto win for just about every single adventure domain in the simulated universe. She runs so fast and has an AoE damage aura, so she will break every crate that she passes by. And she will also just get every single trotter, so you're going to get perfect on every single one, or you just did it wrong. I'm sure you guys saw this team in my last video and had some questions. You see, this is my exploration team. Herta finds all the chests, Fei Xiao runs fast, Acheron kills things, and Lingsha is there for emotional support. support.
But no, you will take points.
No, I won't. I know what I'm doing. Anyway, if you are really worried about this global passive thing spreading to other games, go free to play. Send a message. Don't spend. Like I do. It's not our job to think of a way to fix the problem. It's Hoyo's job to make the game as satisfying as possible. And it is our job to draw the line in the sand with our credit cards. Screaming at them, "I don't want this," while paying for it is sending mixed messages. And we may have a language barrier here in the US, but there are two universal languages: violence and money. And only one of them is legal. The second one. Either talk with your wallet or they won't get it. Trust me, they can fix the game at the drop of a hat. Hoyo is an incredibly intelligent and detail-oriented company, but they are also a company. So it is our job to make them fix said issue. We've put up with this for a long time, and it is our decision at the end of the day whether we want to tolerate it or not. It is up to us how far this goes, because there is a whole line of gacha games that are miles worse than all of the Hoyo games combined, and that is FIFA, 2K, and Madden sports games. And you know why they are worse yet continue to profit? Because the players are stupid and put up with it. We don't have to be stupid, nor do we have to put up with it. So if you truly want to make a change, and if this castorice issue is truly the straw that has broken the camel's back, then speak the universal language. Qian, renminbi, yuan, money, dollars, cash. Let it stay in your wallet, and you'll notice very quickly just how much attention Hoyo pays to feedback. Okay, you guys wanted my opinion, so I had to lock in and get serious. Hopefully I gave you guys a new perspective on just how deep this rabbit hole goes, because I'm the lore guy after all. But even though I have been harsh on this game, I still like it. The game's still fun, and the story is still really, really good in my opinion. But as a community, we gotta collectively stomp our foot down and cause an earthquake that reaches the shores of the Chinese mainland to let them know that we aren't having it over here. And trust me, the Chinese player base isn't happy either. So let's send a message, shall we? I am only going to make this video once. This is the end, so I can go back to talking about lore. I believe I've made myself abundantly clear. But what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.